Hello everyone and welcome! Today we're making a delicious tapa recipe today, and we're making spiced pork and apple on Pugliese bread with Muenster cheese. A simple yet delicious and delectable recipe. And we start with 1 pound of ground pork, unseasoned. To season and cook our pork, we have about a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of finely diced white onion, the same amount of apples that I've cut small, half a teaspoon of fennel seed. Here I have curry powder, so you get to buy this in the store. It's about a half to 1 teaspoon. Coriander powder, 1.5 teaspoons, and chili flakes. So I've taken about a half a teaspoon. You could increase or decrease depending on how spicy you like it. I have some Muenster cheese slices that we'll use for our tapas, a tomato, and we'll also be additionally topping it with some sliced apple, a small bunch of parsley, and this is our rustic Pugliese bread that we'll be slicing horizontally. So I'm going to get started by a pan that's heating on the stove with some oil. So make sure you coat the bottom of the pan, and we're going to start by sauteing our onions. Season it with a little salt. So we just want to soften this for about a minute or 2 minutes before we add the rest of our ingredients. And while that's happening, I'm going to start by slicing the bread. So our onions are softened and slightly browned. We're going to add all of our powders. So we'll start with the seeds first: fennel, the curry powder, coriander, and the chili flakes. I'm going to give it a light stir, just mix it around, make sure that all of the powders are evenly distributed. Now we're going to add the apples and soften it just a little bit. Just give it about a minute for the apple to soften a bit before we add the pork in. Once your apples have softened a bit, maybe a minute or so, we're going to add the ground pork in there. Bring it out. I have some chopped parsley, just a few leaves that I've chopped or diced really fine. You're going to break up the pork with the back of your spoon, and as it continues to cook, you could add a little water, and that helps all of the flavors come together in your pan. So we're going to cook this till our pork is done, and we don't want it too moist, so we're going to evaporate some of that liquid as well. Pork has cooked and it has browned slightly, and that's what we're looking for. So we're turning off the heat now. Just stir everything well, and we're ready to now assemble our tapas. So I've sliced our bread horizontally. I have about 3 slices that I'm going to assemble today. We're going to start first with the cheese. So I have these rectangular Muenster cheese slices. What we are going to do is cut them. So it serves 2 purposes. One, it adds a nice creaminess to the tapas, and second, if your bread is a crusty bread like Pugliese, where it is it has a lot of aerated holes in the bread, this cheese adds another base so you don't have your topping falling through. Next, we're going to put some tomato on. Add some pepper to it. I'm going to scoop some of that delicious pork. and layer it gently on top. You could also add a binder to the pork, maybe potato or say a cream cheese if you don't want it spilling over, especially if you have a large party. If it's just for family, I think this is perfect. Then I've taken half an apple, cored it, and sliced it like this. So I'm gonna put that right on top. There's another layer of sweetness. Dash of brown pepper. And you could finish it off with a parsley leaf. And let's move it to our platter. Second. And third. Finish the last two off with a nice fresh leaf of parsley to add some green. And that's about it. You can probably add 2 pieces of the sauteed apple on top too. Gives it a nice look. And here you have it, spiced ground pork and apples, a tapas on Pugliese bread with Muenster cheese. Enjoy.